Hey, it's Matt from Crank Engineering, and this video is just a public service announcement really for anyone who's got an old Triumph, I think T140, T120, old Bonnies, around late 60s, around the 1970 I'm guessing. I'm just working on a bike for somebody else, and I've just had a hell of a time disassembling this rear hub, and I haven't found any decent instructions on the web or on YouTube. So I thought I'd better help out the rest of the community. So if you found the manual online, which is not hard to find, it talks about using a punch inside here to deform this seal or this ring here, so that you can get move this spacer out of the way, so that you can get behind this bearing and punch it out. So when they're talking about, there's a photo in the manual talking about using a drift in here, you're actually got to hit the edge of this spacer, and you've got to mangle this ring basically, so that you've actually moved it to the point where you can get behind this bearing. So you can probably see, I'm hoping you can see, I've made quite a mess of this with a punch, and I was literally using a punch like this, and I can only get this sort of an angle on it. So I think I'm going to have to dress this with a file later to clean it up. But you've really got to this guy's in here at the time, and you can only strike it on an angle, so you've got to hit it pretty hard to deform this steel, I don't know, grease shield or whatever the hell it is, so that you can get in behind this bearing and knock it out. So you knock this one out first, and then the spacer will drop out, and then from this side then you can punch that one out, and that will take out this grease shield, bearing, another shield of some sort. This you need to have taken off first, which is I think it's a speedo drive. This bike hasn't got a speedo, so, but I think these notches are for the speedo drive. Now this is a left-hand thread, so to get it off, it's a clockwise. You've got to turn it clockwise to get it off. So I'm installing it, and I'm installing it anti-clockwise. So to get it off, it's clockwise. So left-hand thread on this speedo drive. So take that guy out, and then you'll be able to get this bearing out this way. So there's a shoulder in here, so you can't push the bearing back the other way. It'll be sitting up against this shoulder, and this bearing here sits on this shoulder. So you've got to press each one out from the inside of the hub. So that was a bit of fun, but follow the procedure in the manual, and really your objective is to hit this guy hard enough to make that sort of damage on that ring, and that ring is hidden in behind the bearing, so you can't see it. All you can see is the edge of the spacer from outside, and then you hit it hard enough to deform that, and then that'll give you a chance to get a drift in behind here and punch this bearing out. So just persevere, hit it hard, and even if you've made a bit of a mess of the spacer, that can be cleaned up with a file. So hopefully that was useful for anyone else who will be in the future disassembling one of these hubs. This little retaining ring also, you just need I just used a punch, a long, narrow, thin punch, which should be here somewhere. It's not. You just use a punch. This is on a thread, very fine thread, so you just need to put a punch in it and tap it around so that you can undo it. So there's a retaining screw, well there was a retaining screw on this one, but this just comes out anti-clockwise. So this is just threaded in here as the retainer for the bearing on this end, and that acts as a retainer of some description at this end. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Cheers.